Hello, 1 minute music challenge. All right. We're here to learn how to create a metal or modern rock tone using our digital device. Some of you are Boss Katana players. Some of you use other Boss products, or maybe you're like me and you use something from line six. I'm going to be using the HX Stomp. Some of you may want to use the actual Helix, or maybe you got that new Pod Go, and that's something that you're going to use to create your guitar tone. So that is exactly what we are going to do. Okay. So, like I said before, I am using the HX Stomp. I love this product. This thing's amazing. All right. 3 foot switches, right? It's really small and compact, very easy to use, and it kind of gives you a detail of everything you have going on. Another really cool thing about this product is it comes with some editing software. All right. So we can use this to create our tone and then record this stuff and create music. And that's the whole point of what we're doing. So we are going to create our guitar tone. And the first thing that we are going to need is, well, you're going to need a guitar. And I am using my Iron Label Ibanez RG Air 6 or whatever it's called. And it has DiMarzio pickups in it. Sounds really good. Not much of a rock tone because it's just a dry guitar going in. We have to build this tone. The cool thing about this HX Edit software is it shows everything that we have going on in a line in the signal chain. We can create a whole rig. So the first thing we need in a rig is an amp. So I'm going to go over here to this preamp and I'm going to choose. Look at all these amps I could choose from. All these amps, and only a few actually are worth a modern or metal rock tone. So let's use the Placator Dirty. The Placator Dirty is based off the Friedman BE100. For those of you who know who Friedman is, and there's a lot of artists out there that use them. So this is the stock sound that comes directly from the Placator. And there we go. You have a metal tone. I'm just kidding. All right. So that sounded horrible. Well, that's because we don't have a cabinet simulator or an impulse response loaded into our signal chain. And I promise you, that is something you absolutely need. Some of you may be saying, well, I can get away with it. Well, maybe with a clean tone, you possibly could, but not for a dirty tone. It's going to sound all buzzy and nasty. So, take that into consideration as we move forward. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add an impulse response. Now I have all these cabs that I could choose from. Okay. But I like this impulse response that I just downloaded from the internets. All right. And this is based off of a Mesa Boogie 412 mic'd with an SM57, and it has vintage 30 Celestion speakers in this impulse response. Okay, so already I have this impulse response in front of behind the amp, and we need to jack the volume up a little bit. So let's put this at let's go ahead and just put this at 0. That's the way I like it. There we go. Because that's the way it's supposed to sound. All right, guitar through the amp into a speaker. All right, and out to your ears. That's the whole point. That's the way it's supposed to be heard. But we need to do some EQ on here. First thing I like to do is I like to remove this little high cut here. And I like to cut the highs at 6 kilohertz. And let's take the lows and let's put them at around 90. All right, so that doesn't sound too bad. But there's a couple of other things that we need to do to make this sound really good. One thing I like to do, and this is pretty common, I like to put an overdrive in front of my sound. And since I'm a traditionalist, I usually go for the good old-fashioned, trusty Ibanez tube screamer. This just says screamer, but this is what it's based off of. Now, I could use an actual tube screamer, and I do have one. But since we have it in digital, why not just go ahead and just leave it so? Keep your gain at 0%. Your bass at 60, tone at 75, and then your treble at 60, and then your output is going to be 100% because you want it all the way up. All right. See, we're getting there. Already making a nasty, nasty sound. Let's do something else really cool. Let's put some reverb in this sound. Go over here to my reverb. And I'll just do a regular plate reverb. Don't need to get too fancy with it. Put the decay at 3, and let's change the mix up to about 20% so we don't overdo it. All right, because the reverb needs to be subtle. All right, I'm not making a lead, tone to make a solo. Then I would jack up the reverb, but just regular rhythm tone. There you go. I like that. All right, let's go a step further. Let me move over my reverb. And I'm going to put an EQ, just a simple EQ on there because I like to scoop the mids a little bit, especially when I'm recording. So I'll put the low gain at +2 and then +2 over here for this. And yeah, there you go. And of course, I can go back to my amp if I want to change up my sound just a little bit. Let's say if I want to make this, let's jack up my gain a little bit to 6.5. Let's bring my bass up to about a 6, and let's put some mids in there. Yeah, let's put mids at to about 5, and treble's my word. I like to boost that. I like a little more highs into the tone. And you can mess with this as much as you possibly want. I'm also going to jack up my master a little bit to about a 6. Sag for tight plays, or for a tighter playing style. I can use that. All right, we're getting there. So this HBE is a feature that the Friedman has, and it kind of just dirties up the sound a little bit. That's HBE stands for Hairy Brown Eye. All right, to get that brown sound, brown sound that Friedman is used to. And I turn my fat on and let's saturate it quite a bit. Boom. We got our metal tone. So that's just something that you can use. All right. This is just something that I use. I like it. And I don't think there's anything else, that's open to interpretation of however you want to do it. You know what I mean? Let me know in the comments section what you like, what you don't like. If you have any other questions or things like that, just hit me up and we'll see what we can do. But until then, folks, keep writing that music. Have a good one.